This is for the thanks, praise, glory, honor, and power of Jesus Christ our God. Praise be to Jesus. Praise be to Jesus. This is Ananias Zimmerman, and I'm going to show you me explaining the rules for combat in Shadowrun 3, the pen and paper role-playing game. This is the official rulebook right here. These are the dice. These are the two characters that I made using the official rules. First of all, we have an elf named Leafletter, who is a mage of fire. He's an elementalist, and I'm going to show you what he looks like. Boom. Second of all, we have a troll named Jack Spike. He's a go-ganger. He's so macho he doesn't think he needs armor. He has a bunch of weapons, but his favorite weapon is the mace and chain. This is what he looks like. Now in this game, you have a game master. He provides the storyline, and you are a character in his story. He tells you the scenario, and you tell him what you want to do. And he tells you what happens as a result of that. You have the dice to determine if you're successful in what you want to do. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a couple things before we get started so you know what we're doing. First of all, the health bar. You have 10 boxes in 2 rows. The first row is stun damage. That's from shock weapons, blunt force, such as hands or a club. This is light, moderate, serious, and deadly. If you get hit to deadly damage, you get knocked unconscious. Same thing for the physical, except physical is against edged weapons or bullets or anything that makes you bleed. You can take damage in both columns, and it'll be both counted against you. But the thing is, you can't die from stun damage, only physical damage. However, if you take deadly damage in stun, and you keep taking stun damage, the overflow gets recorded on your physical. If you take deadly damage in physical, and you keep taking physical damage, every box over that limit gets counted against you, and when that reaches more than your body attribute, you die. Second of all, I want to show you the initiative. Initiative is who goes first in combat. You roll 1d6 and you add it to the number. A d6 is a 6-sided die. Okay? Next thing I want to show you is pools. Normally when you do something in the game, you roll dice equal to the number in your skill. I use the white dice to represent skill dice. But you have additional dice called pool. You have a combat pool. If you're a magician, you have a spell pool, and there's some other ones. But we're going to focus on these two. Okay, I use the red dice to represent pools. Now, the thing about pools is you don't have to use them, or if you don't want to, you can save them, or you can only use some of them. But pools refresh every combat turn. So they come back, but you gotta wait. Except for the karma pool. Those are more rare. I use the green dice to represent karma pool. When you start the game, you begin the game with 1 karma pool. They take longer to refresh than the other pools. They refresh every scenario. So we're only doing 1 scenario tonight, so you only can use it once. But what you use that for is, if you use your karma pool, it lets you re-roll all your failures once. I want to show you the armor. Leafletter is wearing a secure jacket. 5'3" is the rating. The first number is ballistic. That's against bullets. Second number is impact. That's against anything else. Here are his spells and his contacts, his lifestyle, his gear. That's a fire elemental he can summon. There's more skills right there. His attributes, obviously. Okay. Now, we're going to begin the game. So imagine that you're Leafletter. This game takes place in the future, so some things have different names than we use. Such as money. Money is Nyan. And they use a cred stick to make transactions. It looks like a pen. The police are known as Lone Star. And a convenience store is known as a stuffer shack. And that is where our character Leafletter is heading right now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and he's hungry. So he heads to the stuffer shack. And he walks in. The first thing he sees, at the counter, there is a beautiful, red-headed elf girl standing there. She looks tired, a little bit dreamy, and she's staring off into space. There's also another person in the convenience store. It's a dwarf. And Leafletter takes it that he's the manager because he keeps barking out orders, such as, wake up, work better, work faster, you're not doing a good enough job, and other mean things, and insults. At the moment, he is stacking boxes over in the corner. Leafletter says, I want to get some pizza. So he walks over to that area because that's where the pizza is. He grabs a piece. He says, no, I think I want 2. So he grabs 2 pieces. And he heads back to the counter where the cash register is. All of a sudden, he hears a smash outside as if something's been broken. But he ignores it. He's pretty confident. And he says to the beautiful elf girl, why do you let him treat you like that? You're a beautiful girl, you know that? And she says, thank you. That'll be 10 million. He says, no problem, babe. I got it right here. And he pays her. All of a sudden, the doors burst open and a 9-foot troll, muscular, carrying a mason chain, walks through and says, I am the king of the sprawl. All of you are going to pay toll. Tonight you picked the wrong night to be in this building. Leafletter says, you're not taking any of my hard-earned million. He goes, what's that? What did you just say? Do you want to challenge me? And he says, yeah, I do. Battle ensues. This is how I set it up. You gotta keep track of what happens. Damage. Alright, in it for initiative. Pools. Successes. Now, let's write down the pools. Leaf has 7 combat. He has 6 spell. And 1 karma. Jack Spike has 7 combat and 1 karma. Now they got to roll for initiative to see who goes first. Leafletter rolls. He gets a 5. He adds it to his 4. That's a 9. Jack Spike rolls. He gets a 2. He adds that to his 5. And that's a 7. Now, obviously Leafletter is going to go first. But if they would have rolled higher, such as in the 10s, what happens is after the first combat turn, when they both take a turn, 10 is subtracted from both of these numbers, and a new combat turn begins, if they're both still standing. But either way, if they're still standing, you're going to have to roll another initiative. So anyway, like I said, Leafletter goes first. and he's going to cast a spell. Now let's look real quick at what he's got. You got a fireball spell and a flamethrower spell. Both of these are elemental spells. That means they can be dodged because he summons real fire and throws it at the opponent. But the difference between these two is fireball is an area spell. You use that when you want to hit a whole bunch of people, not just one. Flamethrower is a single target. Now, the reason if it's one target, you only want to use the single target spells because the area spell is harder to cast. After you cast a spell, you suffer drain damage, and you have to try to resist it. And the drain damage is higher for an area spell. Same thing for mana. The mana ball and the mana bolt. It's the same thing. Mana ball is an area spell. Mana bolt is a single spell. Which one will Leaf Letter choose? He chooses the mana bolt. Mana bolts cannot be dodged because they are combat spells. And also, you cannot use combat pool to resist the damage. That's why magic is awesome. Anyway, he's got sorcery of 6. So you're going to take 6 white dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, he wants to really drop this troll hard and quick. So he's going to use up his spell pool right now, which is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, his target number, Mana Bolt, says W. That's willpower. So, you look over here. Jack Spike's willpower is 4. So, your target number is 4. Oh, yeah, the other thing I didn't tell you is what a target number is. When you roll the dice to see if you're successful, you have a target number. That's the number you have to roll to be successful. If you roll that number or higher, you succeed. But the more successes you get, the better. Now, if the target number is higher than 6, if you look at this dice, it only goes up to 6. So you're wondering, how do you make that target number? It's called the rule of 6. When you have a target number higher than 6, you roll a 6, and then you roll it again, and you add both numbers together. And that allows you to make the target number. But you can only roll it twice if it's a 6. So anyway, I said his target number is 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. That's really good. Now, like I said, he can't dodge it, and he can't use his combat pool to resist it, because it is a combat spell. The only thing he can do is roll his attribute to resist the damage. The attribute that's being affected, and it's affecting his willpower. So, he only has a willpower 4. That's all he gets to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the target number is the force of the spell. You don't have to cast the maximum force, but he did. And the force of these spells are 6. So that's the target number, 6. And he got no successes, which means he just got hit with a mana bolt. Now, Jack Spike got how many successes? 0. So that means there's 7 over. When you're looking at both of them, what happens is you gotta look at the net successes. A net success is the successes over your opponent. For every 2 net successes, you can stage the damage up. So if you round this down to 6, that means you can stage it up 3 times, because 2 times 3 is 6. So he can stage the damage up 3 times. So it's a serious wound already. He stages it up to deadly. But you can't stage it up any further than deadly, even though he could have if you were able to. But anyway, he takes a deadly stun damage and is knocked unconscious. But it's not over. Now Leaf Letter has to resist the spell drain. Now the thing about the spell drain is this. You look over here, and they all have a code. The drain for this is the damage level, which is 6. But it's actually really only 3, because for sorcery spells, all drain damage is halved. For conjuring spells, the drain damage is full. So because this is a sorcery spell, it's actually only 3. So that means the target number to resist this spell drain is 3. And he's got to use his willpower. If you're summoning a spirit, you use your charisma to resist drain. If you're casting a spell, you use your willpower to resist drain. And because, like I said, this is a spell, he's got to use his willpower. So his willpower, as you can see, is 6. So you use 6 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the target number is 3. And he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Now, for every 2 successes, you can stage the drain damage down 1. So you round this to 4. He can stage it down twice, because 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the drain is 6. Serious wound. He stages it down to moderate. He stages it down to light. So Leaf Letter just suffered a light stun damage from spell drain. But he's still standing and his opponent is knocked unconscious. Praise be to Jesus. Praise be to Jesus. Yes, his opponent didn't even get a chance to attack. And there's no second combat turn unless Leaf Letter decided to beat him up while he's knocked out and unconscious on the ground. And maybe try to kill him. God is good. God is good. God bless.